going on, everybody? Yes, as you can see, John is not here hosting the podcast today. I am taking over the XboxEra podcast, episode 70. So today I've got with me Jesse. Say hi, Jess.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Mike.
Hey, friends. How you guys doing?
You all know Mike and Jesse from their streaming adventures. Coffee with Cabessa and Mike just streaming whatever, whenever. Have you done anything lately, though, Mike?
I wasn't feeling well, so I canceled this last Tuesday.
Yeah, you did Perfect Dark last week.
Every Tuesday I stream. Yeah.
Jesse's been doing more than enough to make up for it. Our YouTube channel is just like Coffee with Cabessa thumbnails, like so.
I wish there was
there's
a
so many Coffee with
like
Cabessa thumbnails
section.
there. It's just wow.
Like a lot of the bigger channels, they do a live channel and then they've got their VOD, like their regular stuff. We're not that big yet, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully we'll get there one day. So, as everyone knows, we usually start with what we've been playing, but everyone knows what the hell I play. So, what have you guys been playing, Jesse?
Well, the last few days has been a lot of Hades, which continues to be fantastic. I streamed it twice on Thursday. I streamed it again today along with some Halo, doing the whole Halo playthrough. And yeah, I played a good amount of Hades because I had it on PC, but I hate gaming on PC. So I eventually just forgot about it and stopped doing it. And I think I've already almost matched the amount of hours I put in before on PC in a day. And yeah, it is phenomenal. It's Ursel did a review of it that I wholeheartedly agree with. It is the best roguelike out there. By far.
Well, even better than West of Dead.
Yes. It takes West of Dead and it curls it up into a ball and then it wipes its butt with it and throws it out the window.
Yeah. I like West of Dead, but I haven't played Hades.
Oh no,
yet.
There's a lot of really good ones. It's just they're a tiny team that you shouldn't be able to do it, but everything about their presentation is just a step above. Like it feels full AAA quality presentation wise, though you can see like budgetary limitations in the actualities of their art, because the art style is phenomenal. But that game could literally run on my toaster. I get 500 frames per second on my mediocre laptop. So
wow,
it's very basic. It's just really well done.
Okay, cool.
Mike, that's been the main
what have you been playing?
I haven't been feeling well, so not a lot lately. I tried Hades for like a half hour. That was fun. I'm not much in the roguelikes, or maybe I just don't have a lot of experience with them, but I had a lot of fun with that from what I played. And then I tried out the Hellblade for like a half hour just to take a look. And then before last week, I was playing The Ascent. Started finally getting into that. Really good. Ran into a few bugs, but they were all, I mean...
Look, I mainly played the Steam version before launch, and damn it, that version is still way ahead of where the consoles are.
Yeah.
So I didn't have all those bugs.
I just ran into it like twice. It was like the shotgun or the gun sound bug, where once you start, like firing again or something, it stops then. It was minor, but other than that, like, it's amazing what such a small team, like, have you guys seen the first person trailer, like video for that?
Like the texture on the magazine was like 4K. It's like, why would you do that? I can't see it. But it's
just the fact that they put that attention to detail on something that you would never see.
It's almost like they should have released that and as a challenger to... They should have just made it first person and released it as a challenger to Cyberpunk 2077. It might have been the better game. It was just...
Yeah.
That was nuts.
It's definitely the better Cyberpunk dystopia.
Man, that was full.
You know, old pal Shinobi, his Wushu Studios worked on that.
Yes, they did help out. I remember he posted about it before it came out, that they helped out, I think, on the audio, I want to say, or something.
Yeah, there was a team that did the audio for them, and they worked with them, I think.
Yeah. Well, I downloaded and installed Art of Rally, and had the problem where it just wouldn't start. And I'm like, what the hell? And then someone pointed me to the tweet where they said, just restart your Xbox. So I did a hard reset, fixed it, got into Art of Rally. Not going to lie, did not enjoy how it felt. It was just, like, I understand that a rally game, you know, I used to love Sega Rally when I was a kid. I understand that a rally game should feel heavier and a bit more slip and slide, but this just felt too much.
Too much.
Like, way too much. So I kind of just like, left it.
That's a Game Pass thing.
I've installed Hades. I haven't started it yet, but I have installed it.
It has a God mode. It has a.
I saw that.
Good. Then I'll play it. Then I'll definitely.
I thought of Nick when I saw that.
And you can save at the beginning of any room.
Oh, good.
You don't have to get to 3 levels in after 2.5 hours to get a save.
Well, I loved Bastion. That was theirs as well, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love
Bastion,
Bastion,
Transistor, and Pyre.
Yeah. What else did I do? I played Season 4 of Rocket League started. So, of course, I got the Season Pass and started playing that. Unlocked Superman in Fortnite because you can't not have Superman. And then I helped my 5-year-old get Superman as well. And he was very excited. Said he loved me because I got him Superman.
He's so bland.
So my kids only love me when I buy them stuff and get them stuff, which is really
yes. That is how it goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's not just unavoidable being their parent. I have to buy them stuff.
When they get, I can say this: I get a 16 and 12-year-old. Once the 16-year-old's working and he has to actually buy his own stuff, he appreciates what we do far more now.
Oh, yeah.
You got to get to that point where they're like, oh, wow, things are really expensive.
Yeah, that's right. Like, my son doesn't get it. Like, he's 5. Like, he has no concept of the fact that money's not unlimited. He's just like, buy me Robux. I'm like, nah, buddy. I'm not just going to I'm just going to go and buy you Robux. It's like, why? It's like, because, man, like, we don't have unlimited money. He doesn't get it. Okay, speaking of, like, you know, Windows 10 and installing and whatever, they've got it's Windows Insider program.
No, it's the same. It's actually the exact same app as you get on the Xbox Insider.
Oh, okay. So it's not it's not the existing Xbox app. There's like an Xbox Insider version of that.
And then
app.
you
right?
will you can opt in to then swap your Xbox app into the beta version of it. Just like you would on the console.
Yes.
And they do that for the game DVR bar as well.
Right. And xCloud is coming to that version.
xCloud, and they're bringing back console streaming to PC finally.
Oh, thank God for that. Because, I played Killer Instinct a few times like that. Like when I was grinding away for achievements, I was just streaming to my Surface Pro 4 at the time.
And it's all 1080p now, too.
Yes, because it used to be 720, correct?
Yeah.
Have any of you installed it?
Yep, I got it. It flawless. I'm wired on one and Wi-Fi on the other.
Yeah.
It breaks up occasionally. They're really close to each other though, so it's generally perfect. If they were both wired, it would be perfect.
Yeah. Have you got it, Mike?
No, I thought it was. I thought you had to be in a Windows Insider build. And I can't do that with my work PC, so I completely... But I wonder... I mean, now knowing what we discussed, I'm going to install it, since it only affects the Xbox app. I'm curious to how it compares to the browser. Like, is there, xCloud itself? Like, whether or not there's any difference? Because I've never been the biggest fan of xCloud on mobile. There's too much latency, as good as it is. But I was amazed playing on the browser on a wired connection. It was much better than
wired PC and wired controller are a humongous difference makers.
Yeah,
because even the latency of just a wireless controller going to a phone, I really noticed it.
Oh yeah, and no doubt, using Bluetooth and on a phone, that's going to add to it too. But just playing it again, I'm wired too on my PC, and through the browser. I was really impressed. I was really impressed.
Oh, well, look, I wouldn't know. as an Australian peasant, I don't have access.
Look, you got a good
xCloud,
McDonald's. You can wait a little while longer for xCloud.
I really want, like, I'm looking forward to it getting on the Samsung and on the LG, and like I want it, but it's just, it's just so annoying.
Not at least. Did they not announce a roadmap?
It's coming to Australia. It is coming to Australia. I think at the moment it's in beta for Android. They had a limited window for iOS.
You only get 1,000 people on iOS.
Yeah, iOS is like Apple being idiots. But yeah, I mean, hopefully by the end of this year we'll have it like properly, because I've got Ultimate and it's part of Ultimate.
I do wonder if they're building up the data centers for the areas it's not already in, because they got all the data centers ready for the areas it's already launched. So maybe they're making sure they have the capacity for the new places they haven't actually launched it at all yet.
We do have their data centers here. We've got one in Sydney and one in Melbourne, or two in Sydney and one in Melbourne. But I assume they're not equipped with the Series X hardware.
Yeah,
I'm assuming. So maybe that's what the hold-up is. I don't know.
Maybe.
And I was going to say, as Mike mentioned before, because he was trying it out, Hellblade got a random, out-of-nowhere Series X update.
But they're holding off a PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, well, God.
I mean,
the controversy.
They spend a lot of money. They had a porting company do it. It cost them a lot of money, so you can't just assume that's going to go everywhere.
The thing, this is similar to like Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U. If it wasn't for the companies, paying for it, it wouldn't happen to, like, if Microsoft didn't own Ninja Theory, this would never happen. There would be no current gen versions.
No,
but
I still don't get why people expect Microsoft to pay for stuff for other platforms when they wouldn't expect that of Nintendo or Sony.
Because they have different expectations for Microsoft, and they pretty much always have.
Well, I think it's when your main platform has been by far the market leader for like 3 of the last 4 generations, and you basically get everything, you kind of just, I think, subconsciously may build that type of...
Yeah.
It's jarring when you're not getting something that you just expected you would get, because you're used to it. It's just, it always happens.
I guess so. And the other update we got from them was that 6.3 million players have played Hellblade, the first one, which is pretty good, but that's across all platforms, I believe. So that's PlayStation, Xbox, Switch,
It is doubled
and
since
PC.
like last year. Because
Well,
I
I'm
gave
sure
the numbers
Game Pass...
a year or two ago.
Yeah, I'm sure
but it was
Game
on
Pass
Game Pass at
had a
that
bit to
point.
do. Oh, was it?
I think it was, I think in large part it's because 2 was announced, and so people are like, oh, shit, I should go try out 1 and see how that is.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I mean, it's been on Game Pass. It's been on PlayStation Plus. I think...
Was it on PlayStation Plus?
I believe it was.
Oh, okay.
I mean, not recently, but since launch, I think it was. Is it on Epic Game Store? Did they give it away or anything, or is it just on there? I'm trying to think. Like I thought it was interesting how they use players, not in a bad way. Like, I'm not trying to take away.
But everyone uses players now.
Yeah, exactly.
Just about.
So like, that was a lot more than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's good that many people have tried it out, and it'll hopefully get them excited for the second one.
Yeah. Have you guys tried the updated version?
No, I wanted to, but then I saw that with ray tracing, it's only 30, and I was like...
Yeah, it's definitely we're working on tech and testing things out and seeing how it works for 2, it feels like, maybe. It is an improvement over what it was before for the resolution mode. The lock 4K, lock 60, it's absolutely perfect. Having the 120 felt really good if you had VRR. The Digital Foundry videos, they're like, it can vary quite a bit, so if you don't have VRR, you wouldn't want to use it. But the settings were really good on the 4K 60 mode in comparison to what it used to be. So even just from that perspective, like if you just want to play through it 4K 60 or take really nice screenshots or just look at things in the ray tracing 30, it is a marked improvement in image quality.
That's the only bummer, that they don't let you switch between the modes. You have to exit out of the game, do it in the main menu, and then yeah.
So it's
and
not
I mean,
on the fly.
Yeah, and I understand it with the ray tracing because you got to like build the BVH structure and everything like that. But like resolution or frame rate mode, that's usually, you usually see that in some other games. But the loading is quick. It's like 15 seconds or something. Yeah, so it's not like you wait long.
Some games do let you switch on the fly, even with ray tracing, though. Like, I know Doom did.
Doom does. Yeah, Doom does.
I think
it might be an Unreal thing.
I think Spider-Man does.
I mean, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
I'm just less surprised.
It probably just depends on the engine.
Is the ray tracing, like, lighting as well, or is it just reflections?
Just reflections from what I can tell. Well...
Yeah, I think Well, I'm not 100% sure. I know there were some things that were off a bit with it wasn't always on. In a few scenes it actually wasn't on even when he was running it on Digital Foundry. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
but on the whole, he mostly pointed out reflections.
Yeah, I think it's only reflections because I think the other improvements, like it's got different lighting and different shadows and stuff tech. So like that I think is in all modes if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, it looks really good in resolution, and it looks okay in the 120. You can see where they made the sacrifices for the higher frame.
Yeah. I just find that, like, of all the things that can be ray traced, I feel like reflections is like the least additive. Like, I don't know if reflections adds a lot visually to a game compared to lighting or shadows or whatever the case may be. Like,
I think that depends on the game, because if you have a city, area, I think reflections makes a lot of sense. If you have a lot of reflective surfaces and stuff to show it off,
big bodies of water.
Yeah. But like,
Metro.
if Metro does it for a whole lot of things, it does it for the light. I mean, but it's lighting, it's
they
GI.
didn't do reflections because it wouldn't do jack shit for that game. That game is very rocky.
On the PC, it has reflections.
Yeah.
But
they don't bother on the console because it's not worth it.
Yeah. If they're going to cut anything, that made the most sense. The reflections but then again, what do you use it on other than reflections? I guess you can do shadows instead.
But lighting, though, ray trace lighting makes a world of difference. It's just the hardest to do out of all of them. It's the most taxing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, like path tracing?
Well, isn't there different scales of it, though? There's full path tracing, but then there's...
Yeah. There's reflections, there's shadows,
is not something
there's GI.
I don't think we'll ever see. Except on older games that may get updates, potentially.
So, like, global illumination, you can do with ray tracing, but there's no change of time of day. So all of that is baked in anyways in the game. So it makes sense to do, like, ray trace GI for Halo, because that has a dynamic time of day. Mm-hmm. And if they're still planning on using ray tracing, I would go with that. But... yeah, I mean, I think Jesse's right that this was just kind of playing around with it, just to throw it in there. Maybe I don't know how ray tracing compares performance between like UE4 and UE5, because that's what Hellblade 2 is using. So it doesn't really seem like ray tracing is a focus in UE5. So,
no,
but yeah,
what's the name of their light engine?
Lumen.
Is like, Lumen.
Is it Lumen?
Yeah, Lumen.
Pretty much like their version, essentially.
It's like software ray tracing instead. And so, it looks good. And the drop to 30 is obvious. It's it's crazy how 30.
I can't go back to 30.
I used to be fine with it.
I know. And then, I can't anymore.
People were like, I can't go back, and I would think they're kind of being a little elitist or whatever. I'm kind of in that
anything where you're moving with one stick and you're aiming with the other one. I can't do that 30 look with the right stick.
Yeah, I mean, Hellblade, it's not that bad with a game like Hellblade. It's a slower paced game. You don't need quick precision and response, but it's still noticeable. I'd still play it if ray tracing was done better or used more. I'd probably still play around with it, but
look, a part of me, I don't expect it to happen much, but there's a part of me that hopes a lot more games get the Metro treatment, where they're a bit older, but they give them those real new upgrades, like maybe having full path tracing because the game is old and maybe the hardware can handle it. I reckon it would give a lot of new life to those older games like Metro.
I wish we knew what was going on with Minecraft's full path tracing. Showed that
God.
off before the system ever came out and haven't heard a word. Seems to be the same with Minecraft, though.
Old games being revitalized is kind of a theme this week. So we had the leak of the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy remasters happening. So I believe what's been confirmed, quote unquote, is 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. We're getting remasters of those. It's funny, I posted on Reddit. I had been told that it could be all of them, as in 1, 2, 3, like the whole lot. It doesn't appear like that's the case. Obviously, my guy might have been wrong on that one, but I'm a little bit annoyed about this selfishly, because I just bought the Trilogy on PlayStation 3 because I sold my PS2. Once I was able to replace all my PlayStation 2 games on a modern console, I sold my PS2. So I bought the GTA Trilogy on PS3 for $40. And now this is happening, which has annoyed me. But that's me being selfish, which I am often. How do
is
you
this
guys
a
feel
leak
about this one?
or a rumor?
Yes, it's a I don't know, it's a leak / rumor.
Okay.
Yeah, who came out with it first? I forget.
I can't even remember. It's been floating around for a while.
It's been in the last few days with the more confirmed reporting.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Look, I'm pretty certain it's happening.
Yeah.
I don't think we know who's doing it. Apparently, it's being done in Unreal.
It was Ruffian.
What?
Is the rumor? The guys who did Crackdown. Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, that would make sense because a lot of those guys were part of the original Grand Theft Auto team. So it would make sense to put them on it because they do own them now, don't they?
Yeah, they're like 2K. They're Rockstar Scotland or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I was just the fact that they're doing it in Unreal though. I was very curious about that. Like, does that affect much? Oh no, it's 4 that has the proprietary engine. The
one they're still
Euphoria.
using.
I mean, but it's still a different engine because that was Render Rare for this trilogy, and I guess so. I guess I wonder, are they just going to have the same old animations?
Yeah,
like,
that's weird, isn't it?
Is there info like so? This is more of a remaster than.
Well, I
They're
don't
called
know.
remakes.
Like a port.
I don't know.
I think they were called full-on remakes.
Okay.
I think it would be better to be remade fully. And if
Definitely
they
more
do fully
expensive.
remake them and tighten up how they feel and all that sort of stuff, I reckon I'd replay them again.
And
That's
it's
what I
supposed to
care
be
most
this
about.
year.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's VG. Like a lot of it was, it's real. It's coming to PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Switch, which seems crazy. And
Nice.
supposedly launching this year. Some call it a remaster. Most call it a remake. So
Well,
we'll
I
have to
mean,
see.
I did have someone reach out to me and tell me that they've known about it for a year. So if that's the case, then it sounds like it's been in the works for a little while then.
Yeah, there were older rumors about it too. This is the first like more concrete reporting.
So they're releasing the GTA 5 port and the
As well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm more concerned about how it controls these classic
That's
remakes. That's all. They can still look like PS2 games jacked up to 4K for all I care. But if they play like those older games,
Yeah, I know.
No,
I'm not
they
interested.
don't hold up.
I mean, even back then they didn't feel good to me. So
That GTA 5 release, so it runs at 4K 60, yes?
I think that's what they said. Yeah.
Surely they could get ray tracing into that, even at 4K
It would be
60.
so much work. This is a port to just keep GTA Online going.
Yeah,
It's not a port
I
to get
guess
people
so.
to rebuy 5. They just want you to keep playing GTA Online because it makes them billions of dollars. So the more money they
This
put
isn't
into
a
the
free
port,
upgrade.
the longer it takes.
This isn't a free upgrade,
no,
right?
it's not.
No.
It's you got to pay for it.
But I imagine you'll get the limited time account migration like they did between 360 and Xbox One and PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. So you get a limited window, you can migrate your account. Yes, it would be great if they did that, but it's just, what's the return on investment?
I know, but
the microtransactions. I mean, that's where most of their income comes from.
But if they lose a lot of time, because if it takes a lot longer to do that than this, quick and dirty up-res, up-settings port, like if you're building ray tracing into that engine, like those mods take people years to make. They take a very long time. And if it's adding any time onto the development for them, like depending on how their engine works, they'll just do it.
I can see them.
It's just
I can see it being possible, but not a 4K 60. If you got ray tracing in GTA 5, it would be a 30 frame per second game.
You reckon? Like, it's a game that was built for 2004 hardware. Like, surely in 2021.
You look at the mods that added in, though, and like those people are running at crazy settings, and that game never runs great on PC. Like that
really?
PC was
Even
never
now?
their lead. It runs. No, you can
unmodified. It runs fine. I can get 4K 60 just fine.
Yeah, but I mean, you can get 4K 60, and then if you want to add ray tracing onto that, and then go down to weaker console hardware, it's not going to happen. Yeah, because you have a good PC, and it takes a good PC to get good performance out of it. It's still a very power hungry game.
Yeah,
I guess so.
It was fully made for console and then ported to PC. If the next one is everything all at once at the same time, then you expect it to run better on lesser hardware.
Yeah.
I mean, what the thing, with like the PC port is it's lacking those newer features like DLSS. That's the big thing. That if you have PC support integrated in your game, then you're more likely to have those types of features.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Well, we'll find out soon enough.
But anyways, I'm I'm excited to see about how these remakes
the old
look.
ones. Yeah, I'm more interested in the old ones. I'm not overly interested in 5 because I did play those older games, so I'm far more interested to see how they turn out. But that theme continues, doesn't it? We also got, we had on the Rumour Mill about a month ago that I had been told that there was... Now, I to be fair, I got told that there would be a new Quake game with a female protagonist, that they didn't specify if this was a reboot or just a sequel or anything like that. To be honest, I can't even remember what I said in the episode. And at the time, we speculated that maybe QuakeCon is where this thing gets announced. And then, of course, Jesse, I think, did you dig into...
When their schedule popped up, I looked at it, I saw Let's Talk Quake, and I clicked it. And it literally just said, hey, there's a new Quake game with Machine Games and id, essentially.
Yes.
And we're going to talk with Jörg Gustafsson about his involvement in the new Quake game. I was like, what the hell? And so I closed, I went to a different page and I started wondering, oh, they announced a new Quake game? And I'm just going around and I'm looking and no one's talking about it. And by half an hour later, I go back to that page and it's gone.
And it's
and
gone.
I'm like, oh, shit. I didn't screenshot it because I just thought, oh, I missed a Quake announcement. Not that they accidentally put up the thing. And it was just ... That's all that was there. So like a few hours later, I finally was like, oh, what if I tried the Internet Wayback Machine on archive.org? And they had the very first initial page because they cached it the moment it came up. And so I was able to get it and take a screenshot there and put the article up, and it's taken off pretty hard because, I mean...
Yeah.
It's called Revitalised Quake.
Yes, that's interesting because I remember on our Rumour Mill we said I think id and Machine Games are involved, so it all seems to align. I just wonder if there were some crossed wires in terms of what this new Quake is.
What if there's two things? Because they just finished Doom Eternal and its DLC. So what if they'd been working in tandem with Machine Games to do remade Quake 1, and their next project is that new Quake reboot that's coming a few years down the line? That was the other thing I was thinking about. I mean, who knows? It's all speculation.
That's right. So, because we know Machine is working on Indie, where now it's rumoured that they're on Quake.
But if they're just helping with this remaster, and then id's next thing is the full Quake game.
Who's to say that Quake Revitalised is just one game or one project? You know, that can be like almost an initiative or something.
Yeah, because they revitalized
starting
Doom.
starting with the Quake remaster, remake, or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would love that.
I
would love that.
I actually hope they
Thursday.
do bring back both Quake 1 and 2. I loved Quake 2. I know a lot of people
Quake 2 was the first arena shooter, because I always played the one with the grappling hook. And then you just grapple hook up to a wall and then railgun people, and it was a modded one. I probably put like up 500 hours into that.
Quake 1 and Quake 2 I loved. 3 Arena, sorry, because it was 3 Arena, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was, I wasn't as enamored with that one. But I am very curious as to what this is, or if it's like you guys said, is it two things? Is it one thing? I mean, we'll probably find out. When's QuakeCon? The 19th?
Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll find out on Thursday with their opening thing, because Machine Games and id are on to talk about the history of Quake. Which would seem like the time. It's the opening thing, talking about the main game, and then they'll probably announce it there, and then the next day they have the thing that leaked. So,
look, I'd be fine with both, like a full, like a remake, I guess, of the original Quake alongside the Doom style reboot of the whole franchise. I'd be completely and utterly fine with that.
That was my hope
all
after
seem to be
they
aligning.
said Eternal was done.
Yeah. So the rumors seem to align.
Keep it in the Gothic setting. I mean, I like Quake 2. I like Quake 2, don't get me wrong. But I think why some people went sour on that game is because it took it into more, like, biological type of direction.
If you look at Quake 2's setting and aesthetic, it looks very similar to Doom Eternal or Doom 2016. And they've already got that. So where Quake 1 was, it was that gothic setting. So why not set it apart from Doom? And I think I said it at the time with John. Imagine Quake in that new id engine with that really gothic look. Oh,
yes,
it would just be stunning. Absolutely stunning. I'd love to see that. Love to see.
Especially it'll be late enough in where they'll have had more time with being an Xbox company, which is really weird that Quake is an Xbox IP, that they'll have had more time with the consoles and the whole RDNA 2 and all of that tech hitting in 2-3 years. It'll be a legitimate new gen only experience with their tech. It's going to be, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I think it'll look great. So that's going to hopefully be announced at QuakeCon, which is on the 19th. Then on the 24th, for the Brits and the Americans, the Aussies get it on the 25th, obviously, time zones. Gamescom. Microsoft announced they solidified their Gamescom date. 6 p.m. British, 3 a.m. in Australia. 10 a.m. Pacific. So for
it'll
you
be
guys,
1 p.m.
that's
for
like...
me, and I am
1 p.m. for
it.
you guys. Yeah. Now, what do we expect to see at Gamescom?
I was watching the Xbox 2 one earlier with Jez and Rand, and Jez seemed to feel it'll be very Forza Horizon focused, because they have been talking about that game a ton. They've literally been doing weekly streams showing it off, that Forza iGo. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's there a lot. I really hope
Halo.
the gunk is there.
Halo has to be there.
If Call of Duty is getting announced on the 19th, then you would think Halo might show up with something Forge related and maybe the release date, because it really feels like they're waiting to see when COD hits to set their date. If that is the case, COD's given their date.
Yeah, I'm expecting a Halo release date announcement at least.
If COD has theirs, I
trailer,
would. If COD has theirs. I assume we'll see a bunch of indies as well, as we always do. I'm just trying to think what else.
Gunk?
Yes, the gunk. Which
I would love to see the gunk.
They still list the Thunderful's page. I think still lists gunk as a second half 2021 game.
That is still listed this year, and Crossfire X's campaign was literally just said to be this year again in Remedy's earning report. So those two could be there as well, because it's supposed to be the rest of what we have for this year is how
That's
they were
right.
talking about
Because we literally haven't seen Gunk since a year ago, have we?
No. We've only ever gotten the release trailer, and then we saw that it's a forever exclusive in the Epic paperwork.
Yes.
And that came out, and that's been it.
Yeah, it's staggering that we haven't heard anything since that game, and yet they're still, I assume, steadfast on it being a 2021 game. I'm still kind of expecting it to get delayed, but I hope it doesn't. The game looks really, really good. So hopefully Gamescom is when we get almost, I don't know, the reveal, I want to say, or reintroduction to Gunk with a release date and, I don't know, something. I don't know. But I think that was it. That they didn't confirm anything else for Gamescom.
No, I think Aaron Greenberg, he said don't expect any new announcements. They're basically going to cover 2021. Yeah.
Nothing new, already announced. Nothing next year, only this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is good because it does give them a show to cover games like the Gunk and Crossfire X, because I remember wondering where Crossfire X was at E3. I expected that to be there.
Yep. And it was not.
And they've still got the TGAs for teasing future stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. TGAs where, we can see Kojima's thing if that pans out.
Yeah. What, isn't that Abandoned?
Yeah, we saw that today. I finally got the playable teaser.
I thought Kojima's thing was Abandoned.
That was Norman Reedus walking across the wooden floor there.
Because Hassan's initials are HK. Hideo Kojima. Isn't that it?
And he's not actually a real person. He's an AI, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's right. I thought he was CG. Like, that was the new engine that was showing off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you saying that I've been fooled? Have I been fooled all this time? I thought this was... Oh, I can't believe it. I thought that was Kojima all this time. Man. So I guess... So, yeah, Forza Horizon 5 will probably be the focus of Gamescom. Part of that has been... They've been showing a lot, gameplay, the whole lot. They also revealed the map. Now, I made the mistake of giving my opinion on Twitter about the map and saying that I don't necessarily believe that it being 50% bigger than Forza Horizon 4's map is a good thing.
But you were talking about map bloat, where you don't know it's just really full. So you were just missing a little context for people.
I know, and I wish now I had added that context, because it wasn't... I wasn't referring so much about the physical size of the map. In my head, as soon as I heard 50% larger, I was like, oh,
and
that
50% more icons.
So many icons. There's just going to be like 1,000,001 icons in there. And Forza Horizon 3 and 4 already had so many icons in them. And I was just like...
They need to filter things by default. It needs to filter out the things that don't matter, and then you can choose to add them in, and you just see the important stuff. Because by default, just like everything's there, and you have to zoom in so much to actually see the things you want to see.
Like, if the plan is to structure it a little bit differently and say, okay, we're not going to add 1,000,000 more races, we're going to keep the content amount similar, but we're just going to space it all out more into a bigger map, so you're driving a little bit more and cruising along between events, that wouldn't be as bad. Like, I still love how Forza Horizon 1 structured itself better. Like, it didn't just throw icons at you. It sort of drip-fed everything to you as you did stuff, which I really liked the way the first Forza Horizon did it.
This one does have that... They're doing a full campaign. Like that whole excursion, I forget what the heck they called them. And I do wonder if you'll do the campaign to then unlock more things in a more natural path.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I do hope so. Because I just worry that they go full Ubisoft and just throw just millions of icons, and I don't know. I mean, I understand the argument. Like, people were getting very aggressive at me, and I get the argument of, oh, it's a racing game.
Sound like Twitter.
Yeah. I understand the argument. Like, it's a racing game, so the more the better. and I guess I was taking the more selfish perspective. I don't have the time to just dedicate. I don't know.
If they give you a good path to go through, like if they give you a more clear path of this is what you do to beat the game, and then all this other stuff opens up, then it's like the best of both worlds for you, because you can just focus on what you want to focus on, maybe jump in every once in a while for another race, but you know you've beaten it and you don't feel like there's this giant map where you don't know what the hell you're supposed to go do.
Yeah,
that's been my issue with the last couple of them, where I mean I play them, I put a crap ton of time into them, but I would never say I beat them, just because I'm not even sure like how would I even. You could tell more in 3
with like the way your fans, you hit a level and then it's like, okay, you've hit the max level, but in 4 I never feel like I hit the max level, and I've played it a lot.
I agree with Jesse though, that I think the campaign is going to give people direction. I don't think they're going to do it through a filter though. I think almost everything is going to be unlocked in the beginning, because people, they have that, I don't know, not urge, I guess, or people want to do what they want to do in an open world racer like that. So I don't know if it'd be interesting to see how they kind of control that.
Yeah. Look, hopefully they figure it out. Either way, I'm sure the game will be incredible and right off the charts and be played by everyone and all that sort of stuff. It was just, as soon as I heard 50% larger, my gut instinct took over and I was just like, oh, no.
So, I mean, is your issue, like, if it has the same density of icons per area, would that, because you say that, like, the last couple were already pretty packed. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got the same issue with just open world games in general. It's not just the Forza Horizon thing. Like, that's why I don't really play Assassin's Creed anymore. That's why I just... Yeah. And it's not even just about preferring linearity. I do like linear games. I've got no problem with open world games. I just think open world games these days, I don't know, it's like they've taken the collectathon thing and cranked it up to 11.
There's always that carrot on a stick no matter where you go, and it's just like I enjoy playing a game like Ghost Recon, but I'd be lying if I said that I wouldn't prefer them to go back to the older games where there's more structure. Like, make it an open world game, but like put more design into it, if that makes sense, instead of this like sea of icons where it all kind of
radical redesign on how you can understand how it works, because like you bring up Ghost Recon, and I really like Breakpoint. I think they have gone back and fixed what was a bad game at launch, but they never changed the UI for missions, and it is freaking impossible to know where and what you're supposed to do. Even still, like, they've gone back, they fixed all the gameplay issues I had, content issues, adding tons of stuff. It's great. The map's fun. The game's really fun to play, but the actual UI in so many of these games, they just never figure out how to break it down and structure it so it can just be, okay, I need to do this stuff here. Instead, it's like, they get UI bloat not only in the actual map, they get UI bloat in telling you where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to do, or just not even bothering telling you. Just assuming you're going to do it all.
Part of the problem for me is that, like, I mean, there's certain open world games that I completely dig. Like, I love Spider-Man. I like the Forza Horizon games, but like, especially the Ubisoft games, there's just so much bloat there that it all kind of blurs together. There's fewer of those like memorable moments, if any, and and it's just I think there's a case of going too much.
That's right. It becomes work after a while. It borderline becomes a second job. Like, there's plenty of open world games out there that, Crackdown's a great example. Like, Crackdown is an open world game, always was, even in 07, but didn't just... I mean, there was the orbs, but the orbs were part of what made the game, if that makes sense. Crackdown was a bit of an exception to the rule. There was a ton of orbs, but they weren't icons on the map. You were finding them yourself.
They didn't clutter your map, exactly.
The goal was to hunt down those orbs so you could power yourself up. It wasn't like do these 1,000,001 quests and blah 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 blah. It was
fetch quests.
It was a little bit different in Crackdown, and I thought Shadow of Mordor did it really well as well, personally.
And then Shadow of War did not.
No, Shadow of War went in the bad direction.
It's still a good game, but my God, I've played like 60 hours and I still haven't beaten the whole thing.
Yeah, no,
after years,
it gets a bit much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've basically covered off whatever news there was for the week. Now, this is interesting. So, I said last week that I've got a rumour mill for this week. And it wasn't related to Xbox. And then I got scooped during the week. There was another podcast that sort of mentioned what I was going to mention, which was that From is making a PlayStation 5 exclusive. But I did reach out to someone and had a chat to them saying that they gave me a bunch of other stuff about the From thing. And I asked if I could maybe mention that stuff, and they say yes. So I guess in that case, I can do John's favourite thing and play the video and say that we have a rumour mill. Okay, so I played the video. I have no idea how this is going to turn out in the audio version. I'm probably going to have to do a hell of a lot of mucking around there. So what I'm going to do is this person that reached out to me, they have given me a list of stuff that I can read verbatim. So I am just reading a DM now. This isn't me trying to interpret blah 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 blah. This is me reading a Discord DM verbatim about this From stuff and what's going on with From.
They should verify you on Resetera then.
Oh, that's not going to happen. Okay, so they do have an exclusive game in development for the PS5 for Sony. Now, what it says here, deal-wise, it's pretty much identical to Bloodborne and Demon's Souls, as in Sony owns the IP, but it's made together with, obviously, From and Sony XDev Japan, which is former Sony Japan studio. Miyazaki is on it. It's not Bloodborne. It's not Demon's Souls. It's an entirely new IP and apparently has no connection to the former two games. Now, this is the part that may raise eyebrows. Okay. This says, I believe Armored Core was either put on hold or has been having rough development. The reason for this is because I heard the project was lacking in focus/direction. Because of the troubles with that, plus a new contract with Sony, they might have put it on hold to finish Elden Ring, plus the PS5 game. But the Armored Core info is a bit old, so things may have changed there. It's believed I think the PS5 exclusive is more Souls-like than it is Elden Ring / Sekiro. So that is the info I have with From. So, yeah, that's what it was going to be. I don't know. I'm spewing that it got scooped, but
I'm looking forward to it. I'm disappointing about Armored Core. I want more mech games.
Well, yeah. This doesn't really make it clear what's going on with Armored Core. Like, Armored Core could be on hold. Is it cancelled? I don't know.
There was a recent mech game announced, Mike.
Was there?
Yeah, at the I co-streamed the ID at Xbox Showcase, and there was
this you talking about the
weird
farming one?
Yeah. You're in a mech and you go on an alien planet and you farm. So there you go. You have a mech game.
Not quite what I had in mind, but you know what? I'll try it out.
Maybe if they put it on PC and you can mod it into a killing machine instead of a farming one, it'll be fun.
Ooh, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes with mechs. Anyway.
This rumor also did mention Bluepoint, because I've been getting, it's funny, on Twitter I've been getting so many questions about Bluepoint, like people asking me, is Bluepoint being acquired? As far as I know, that's still done, but I'm not going to go into any more of the details that I've got here about Bluepoint, because I'm not allowed. but allegedly that Blue Point deal, it is done. It's just, for whatever reason, it's not being announced. I don't know why. So, that's it for the Rumour Mill. So, I guess with that, we'll move on to acknowledging our patrons.
Lovely people.
Yes, lovely people, our patrons that help us do what we do. And, you know, for example, our patrons are the reason we were able to have awesome giveaways like the Pope Art Halo Needler controllers. I mean, it's the patrons that make that sort of stuff possible. So, I want to say thanks to our patron. Our tier 1s are great, but our tier 2s and 3s are amazing. So, I just want to say thanks and a shout out to Croat56, Blast the Bass, Nodorius, Not Jack, Sowing Shade, Scarecrow 121, TornRaptor, VK Andrew, Brit, Keris, Duke Chaos, Notian, Gabquist, Hexa, J Repper, K, Kirosenko, Cartoon Soldier, Red Sun, Shadowgasm, Somnia, and Running Riot. You're all awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you very much. So,
pay more.
With that, it is now time for community questions. So, obviously, our patrons get to ask us community questions on our forum. We have a special, I guess, a patron lounge in our forum, XboxEra forums, where everyone can ask their questions. So we'll get stuck straight in, because there's a few, but there's not too many. We've actually been given a little bit of reprieve this week. So, Phalaxis, first question. Howdy, gents. Looks like it's a hostile takeover this week. At least there'll be no low mics. You know what, Phalaxis? I don't know yet. We're probably going to find out if there's any low mics. Nick, how does it feel to be the new host? I don't know. It feels natural to me. Maybe we don't need John back. We'll see. Doncabesa, you're a madman when it comes to reviews. How do you manage your time and smash out so many reviews?
So a fair number of them have been things I've already played a lot, and so I've already played them a ton, so I just go back, play them more, maybe do another quick run through, and then writing and doing the video on something you already know really well, and get that done in a day. But yeah, the newer stuff, it's literally just the fact that this is what I'm doing all day right now, for now. See how long that can last, but yeah, lately this has been my full-time job. In the voluntary faction. So
yeah,
there's no secret. It's literally I just put a lot of time into it.
Yeah, I have no idea, to be honest, how you do it. I barely have time to scratch myself. But yeah. So anyway.
I just ignore my family all the time. Don't tell them I said that.
All right, now I've cheated a little bit with the next question. TornRaptor has asked the question. Now I read this one ahead of time and had something prepped. Now I'm hoping that my strategy here doesn't get us dinged on YouTube, because I was going to full on play this, but then I'm like, I think we're going to get dinged, so I'm going to try something else. So TornRaptor has said, "Hi team, what is your favorite 1980s power ballad? I have been listening to a lot recently, and Starship's Nothing Gonna Stop Us Now is what is currently stuck in my head. I find myself listening to a lot of 80s music overall. There is just so many great songs from that decade." Okay, as soon as I read this question, I knew exactly what I wanted to play, and I think I have this lined up. So TornRaptor, if you listen to this is possibly my favorite 80s power ballad amongst many. Hopefully you'll know. This is Def Leppard, Love Bites.
Oh, it's too clear. I gotta talk a little bit.
Such a good song. Absolutely love it.
Such a good song, yeah.
I absolutely love that song. So, I mean, I like Def Leppard anyway, but yeah. Love Bites is amazing. What about you two?
You go, Mike.
Oh, God. I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's why I'm looking it up.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's one of those things where, like, if it was something that I heard, I can say that.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, when it comes to music, like, I can't think of stuff off the top of my head. Like, well, certain things I can.
I bet you it's Down Under by Men at Work.
Is that a power ballad? That's not a power ballad.
No. How about Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins?
Oh, that's a good one.
Does that count? Does Danger Zone count?
I would think so.
Wait, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd consider that a power ballad.
He's singing his ass off, man.
Yeah.
I have a least favorite. I'm not huge on that music, but the song Jesse's Girl by Rick Springfield, because my name...
No, I never liked... Oh, my God.
Don't like the song, and my name's Jesse, so whenever I would tell someone my name is Jesse, they would always reference that song and think they were very funny, and the first person to do it.
I don't know. Even back then, I didn't like that song. That and Oh Mickey. That other Oh Mickey song, Oh, yeah, Jesse and Oh Mickey. We got Mike on. Yeah, I never liked that. Oh Mickey, you're so fine. Blah 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 blah. Never liked that song. Def Leppard though Def Leppard have a lot of good songs though. They've got what are the other ones? Maybe Mike's is Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Oh, you know what?
Why?
Because I'm looking up a bunch of my older songs. Ozzy Osbourne, Goodbye to Romance.
Yeah.
I'm a big Ozzy fan. There's a lot of...
Yeah, see, I had no trouble coming up with this. I had no trouble coming up with Love Bites.
You're a man who knows what he likes.
Yeah. As soon as I saw this question, straight away, I didn't even have to think about it. It was like Def Leppard straight away. But there's a lot of great 80s power ballads. But you know what?
And there's Dream On, Aerosmith.
Okay.
I need to load up GTA Vice City, and then I'd probably find a song I like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. But you know what? We'll move on, because I got a funny feeling we're going to be here forever trying to think of other songs. So, the next one, DirtyFlint. Hello, panel. So, Nick, you got scooped. But you know the best kind of scoop? Ice cream. What's your favourite flavour? Mine's cookies and cream. Okay. Do you guys have Cold Rock in the US? That ice cream place. There's an ice cream place here. There's an ice cream chain here called Cold Rock, and they have a flavor of ice cream called cinnamon donut that has actual chunks of cinnamon donut in it, and that is my favorite ice cream. It is so nice. That's my favorite. What about you guys?
Damn. I mean, I can name like standard flavored ones like mint chocolate chip. I'm a huge fan of that.
Yep.
Every time I go to something like Cold Stone Creamery, I think is what it's called around here.
Yep.
That I basically just pick whatever sounds the most tasty whenever I'm reading from the board.
If I have a go-to
comes to mind, like a favorite,
a go-to for a grocery store would be Cherry Garcia. Which is Ben and Jerry's. It's like a vanilla cherry ice cream with big chunks of black cherry in it. And chocolate chips.
American Dream. It's Stephen Colbert's. It's Ben and Jerry's.
American Dream Cone.
Is it Dream Cone?
Yeah, because it's got the cone pieces in it. Waffle cone.
Yeah, it's chocolate-covered waffle cone pieces with like a caramel vanilla swirl. Oh, I don't know how that didn't come to my mind right away, because every time I get ice cream, that's exactly what I get. That is so good. Yeah, anything with a little crunch in it, especially if it's like a cone, chocolate-covered cone. I've had that in some other ice creams, too. That's always so good.
Interesting. Okay. See, I wasn't sure if you guys had Cold Rock or not. For some reason, I had in my head that Cold Rock came from the US, but obviously...
No, Cold Rock, I looked it up after you said the name. It was started in Australia, so...
Oh, okay, so Cold Rock is Australian. Well, there you go. Okay. Cinnamon donut, so nice. Like actual chunks of cinnamon donut in it, and it's great. Okay, as you can tell from the robe and the vape, it's time for Cerys. Now, Cerys has, I said last week I wish she'd give me like a bit of a week off, and this one's not too bad. This isn't the same thesis that it normally would be. Okay, so... While the cat is away, I was woken this week to the sound of a toddler grumbling she had a poorly tummy. Then to the sound of a toddler crying she had a poorly tummy. Finally to the sound of a toddler vomiting bile over my freshly washed hair. It smells faintly yellow now, and then I am suffering from the lack of sleep. Enough about vomit. Since Sick is away and we can touch his stuff and put cling film over the toilet bowl, change the light bulbs to 20 watt and put his knives where his forks go, I wondered if the new improved diet panel could regale us with practical jokes of their youth. Ones that have gone wrong earn double points. I recall us bouncing Ollie Redacted's Mini neatly between two trees during an after-show party, partially for the laughs, mostly wanting to get chased by a furious Ollie. Woof. Any stories panel version 2.0? Practical jokes you have masterminded or been subject to? Been told to mix feminine hygiene products with dairy products, for example? Cerys, you know what I like and will take responsibility for. Almost every question now is frivolous and makes no effort to talk about acquisitions. So there you go. Any stories about practical jokes? Anything?
I gotta admit, my whole time I'm the youngest sibling, and my wife always mentions that I'm very obviously the youngest sibling. So I would tease or be annoying, but I did not want to be pranked. I really didn't like it. So I refrained from doing pranks outright. So my endless chiding and teasing and jokes sort of replaced my pranks. But yeah, I don't have anything that comes to memory. I think my brother probably would. He's the prankster type.
Okay.
When I was younger, I tried to feed some people those sugar-free gummy bears that make you like rip ass.
The Haribo ones, I think.
Yeah. But like nothing was happening to anyone, and one of my friends took like a whole cup and just downed the whole thing, and nothing. And it turned out Amazon sent me the wrong bag, so it was just regular gummy bears.
Wow. See, none of us.
I came from a family that was bad with it, and they did it a ton, and I just hated it. So I made the choice. I'm never gonna do it to other people.
Typically, don't do it all. I mean, that's probably the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, if it's something innocent or, I'm more into razzing people, razzing friends and stuff than pranks.
Yeah, see, the closest I've got is I did something almost exactly like Cerys. I used to go to Greek school as well as regular school. And that school was full of troublemakers. And I know one day on our lunch break, so the school was next to like a netball centre. So there was the school, a car park, and then there was the netball centre. So a lot of the time we'd go and muck around in the car park, and one day we decided there was like 6 or 7 of us, and we all picked up a little car and rotated it between 2 parked cars. So they might have had to Austin Powers their way out of getting out of those 2 parked cars, which is kind of what Cerys did. That's probably the closest.
I would have been so
practical joke.
Pissed. Oh, one thing that I've done a number of times is if someone's an asshole driver, especially if it's like an asshole parker, like they park like an asshole.
Yeah.
I used to put a note. I'll sometimes put a note on their car saying, "Sorry for the dent. You should learn how to park." Like in the middle of the night or something.
Yeah.
I don't hit their car, but I act like I accidentally did hit their car.
But they're gonna look feverishly for that dent.
Yeah. So I've done that a number of times.
Yeah, it's actually not too bad. That's not a bad one.
That's a good prank.
Yeah, I don't mind that one. That's a good one.
Those are the...
Okay. Next. DeoGame. Here is a challenge I've posed to myself. Ask a question in 2 words. Okay, here goes. Gamescom predictions. Do we have any? I mean, we covered we talked about Gamescom earlier, but technically we didn't talk about our predictions for Gamescom.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because didn't they say there's not going to be any surprises?
Yeah, no surprises.
New. So
they really try to temper expectations.
I guess the only prediction you could really make was Halo Infinite release date. Yeah.
Or I'm hoping for, I guess I'll predict actual campaign gameplay maybe. Maybe they're ready now to finally show it without fear of Craig 2.0. Maybe.
I wonder. They've showed campaign, they've showed multiplayer, they have not shown Forge. So that's my thought. And if they are doing anything big for Halo, it would be Forge, because Forge is going to be a huge mode for them. Because one of the big things that's kept Fortnite going has been the creative mode for a lot of people.
No, I know, but like Epic never advertised creative. It's just there for the Fortnite hardcore. Like Forge isn't your public-facing thing that you show off and tell everyone about. Forge is for your hardcore Halo people. They know it's there. They want to dig in. To me, Forge feels like one of those blog updates. I think have they ever shown Forge at an E3/Gamescom/ anything? They never have. They show a Halo trailer. They show Halo gameplay. They show Halo multiplayer.
But what do they usually show in Halo trailers? It's only campaign and multiplayer, right?
That's right. They've never shown Forge. Like it's Forge is a big deal in terms of the long-term health of Halo. Don't get me wrong, but Forge is not a thing that they've ever used as a front-facing marketing tool, like ever.
I don't see us getting anything from the campaign.
No,
until closer to launch. Like I can see them doing something. Trailer. Yeah. Because there's going to be so much scrutiny with anything they show from the campaign that they're going to want it to be as close to final as humanly possible.
They need to finish the fruit physics.
Yeah, they need to fix that up.
But yeah, I guess it depends on how they want to present Halo. Like, do they want to present like this bombastic trailer, or do they want to do more of like a 101 type closer look? You know, I agree that Forge isn't fitting for a showcase event.
No, it's not.
I mean, what if they did something? Watch this Battle Royale. Now
that's something. Battle Royale would be something to show. It's all
what if they had,
at this point, isn't it?
What if they had like a battle royale, but then at the end they're like, "This was all done in Forge."
That'd be cool too.
You know,
actually, that'd be a good way to show Forge. That's actually a pretty good one. I don't mind that. To go out there a bit. What about Indiana Jones?
Nah.
Technically, that's something that's announced. It's not new, so it wouldn't be a surprise. Maybe they're ready to show something from Indiana Jones. I don't know.
Now they said it's only stuff showing this from this year. It's
Aaron 2021 stuff.
Aaron Greenberg said it's the rest of what we have this year.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, well then.
I think it's safer to predict that it really is going to highlight those titles that they didn't have a chance to look at E3.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. All right. Well, guess what? Last question. Commander Buck. Hey, my dude, taking over one rumor at a time. I assume he's talking about me. My question for the panel: what is the next game that you think is going to break through and get the Hades acclaim?
That meant like indie game.
Death's Door?
It didn't.
Yeah.
It already has.
I mean, I took that as a game coming out in the future. No.
Yeah, like game that's come out, and it doesn't only do well critically, because so many indie games do really well critically, but also hits a bit mainstream and actually, you know.
But I feel like Hades did that because of the awards. That's the only reason I say Death's Door.
Wasn't Hades a success right out the gate, or was it only through word of mouth and rewards?
I feel like I noticed Hades. I feel like I noticed Hades when it started winning all the awards. But that
it originally launched on Switch and PC, right? Or was it PC first and Switch later?
Switch and PC.
I think they were at the same time.
But they didn't have cross-save at the start. But PC was first because it was early access.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I don't remember hearing much about it until it launched on Switch, but I guess that was launch time.
Because it had the long early access period. Then when it hit Switch, it started doing very well. And then it started winning a bunch of awards, even though it lost the Game Awards to Last of Us, of course. But, you know, it won quite a few accolades from people, and that added to... It was already pretty popular then. Like, Death's Door's hit, and it's done really well with critics, but it really hasn't pushed numbers anywhere. that you would, any metrics you can find.
Yeah, I just I wonder if it'll get that attention though if it starts winning those Game of the Year awards. Otherwise, it's so hard to predict. Like, I'd love to want to say Artful Escape, but I don't think that's the sort of game that's going to garner that kind of attention because it's not a game. It's, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, it is. It's more of an experience, sort of point-and-click adventure combined with your platformer. It's only a short game. I believe it's only quite short, the Artful Escape. So I don't see
and
that.
That was the thing with Hades, is it had that time of everyone talking about, I keep doing these runs and I'm getting so close to actually having a successful run. And even like Death's Door, I beat it in my first run through in 7 hours. Like it's not this repeatable thing that you can judge yourself against other people or talk to them about. It's it's this.
There's a lot of things
path.
There's a lot of things with Hades, like what Jesse was talking about, where it contributes to that spread of word of mouth. Like 12 minutes, I'm sure is going to be an amazing game, but you know how long is that going to be? What, 4 or 6 hours or something?
I thought of that joke from the moment he started talking about it, and I knew where I was going. Yeah. That was going to come up, but so there's so many good indie games coming out, but do they have that? There's a lot of things with Hades when it comes to like the different, randomly generated rooms or maps and stuff like that. The roguelike
different strategies. Yeah.
It introduced a lot of people to a brand new genre they had probably never touched before, and they're like, oh wow, this is actually really cool.
What about Bright Memory Infinite? It's got the flashy look of a AAA game, even though it's not. Super action-packed, a lot of over-the-top stuff, looks great, first-person shooter. I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, if we're trying to think of indie games that have the chance to garner that kind of attention, could that be one?
I don't see that garnering any more attention than something like Samurai Showdown.
Okay.
That seems more towards that type of crowd. Plus, I think you're going to lose part of that audience because it's I have the demo or whatever, the prologue.
Bright Memory.
Yeah, and it's got like an anime-esque type influence, I guess.
Yeah.
With character models and stuff.
Hades has a very, very out of the ordinary production value. The writing and the voice acting and the music and everything is way better than what's normally considered very good for that level of a game. So, like, even the Ascent, as much as I love it, it's a very different feeling. Like, this all feels super polished, this music's great, but this writing and this voice acting and everything is good indie, not good AAA, which is how Hades feels with its writing and its voice acting. It's
honestly,
really
I would have thought it would have been the Ascent. If you asked me this question a month ago, I would have thought it would have been the Ascent.
People really thought it was Diablo. They thought it was this repeatable, build-focused thing and not a linear twin-stick shooter, which is more, you're just slowly unlocking more of the abilities and a couple different guns, but it's primarily a twin-stick shooter. It's not an RPG. I think people
and that becomes
had
apparent.
Different expectations.
Once you play it and you see the different options they give with the, getting behind cover, doing different layers or levels of, that is typically not in. You can tell that it's a shooter, twin-stick shooter first because of that. I'm thinking, there's a lot of good indies. But, having something like that quick gratification, because, Hades is something that you can spend 20 minutes on or 2 hours on. You know? I'm trying to think of what games coming up.
That's why I thought Death's Door. Because Death's Door, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was tweeting about it. Similar to Hades. And that's why I'm like, I'm not going to discount Death's Door. I'd rather wait till the end of the year and see if it gets that second wave of buzz. And if it does win Game of the Year awards, then to me it's Death's Door. But I don't know. Not
it'll get a bump from being on people's lists, I think. Because, I mean, it'll definitely be on my list. It's been one of my favorite things I've played this year.
Yeah. It's
I still haven't played it. I've still got to get it. It's $30.
What the hell?
I've still got to
Why
get
are you here? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's everything with that is designed so well. Like it's so intuitive, so well thought out, carefully crafted.
Yeah.
You know, Boyfriend Dungeon has a chance. That one that just had Game Pass, that weird-ass dating roguelike. IGN reviewed it and gave it a 6. But literally everyone else I've seen talking about it, like Miles from Windows Central, is like, this game's fantastic. It's really funny. I really enjoyed the roguelike part of it. And it's on Game Pass, which for any indie game, you can be on, like, you don't have to be only on Xbox, but if you're on Game Pass, you end up being on other stuff, you get more word of mouth. That's probably a huge driver for gaining interest.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I mean, look, we'll find out soon enough. When are the Game Awards? November, usually?
Or early December. That's where the cutoff is, like the cutoff is mid to late November, so see if Halo
if Halo wants to sneak into Game of the Year this year, they've got to release on the 15th on that anniversary.
Yeah, because like Jedi Fallen Order didn't make in.
Halo, yeah.
Halo has as much chance as like Call of Duty or any
It's
other
early, actually. Jedi Fallen Order came out November 10th, and it wasn't eligible that year.
Oh, wasn't it?
Even though the awards, they give you, like, it's got to be at least a month or something.
I mean, in the end, let's be honest, Halo was never going to win Jeff's regardless. It could be a perfect video game, and it would win Jeff's.
Did you guys play the
like Mario Odyssey is?
Huh?
Like Mario Odyssey is. It's a perfect video game.
I couldn't finish that shitty game. All right, what were you saying, Mike?
Did you guys play those 40 indie games that came out a month ago or so for the Summerfest or whatever? Yeah. There was a robot game. I'm trying to think of what it was called.
Oh, was that the one that's the RTS twin stick shooter?
Well, it's like it's like a robot arena where it was really funny. And you were able to upgrade your robot step by step, but like between matches. It was like an arena type combat game, and it's another one of those games where you can put 15 minutes in, or I can see myself putting 2 hours in because it was a lot of fun. Maybe
well, you know what was a part of that was a part of that demo event was Splitgate. That could be an independent game that really takes off like crazy because it.
Well, people are already talking about Splitgate a lot. Yeah. Splitgate could be the one. A lot of my friends play it. They keep telling me to, and I'm just like, It's okay. It's another free-to-play shooter. I've got my free-to-play shooter fixed with Fortnite, and Halo's coming soon, so I'll be dedicating a hell of a lot of time to that. But yeah, that's about it. So that was the last community question, and we've covered everything. So I think this has to be easily the quickest, the shortest. I'd have to go through them all, but I reckon this could be the shortest podcast episode. So for the people that complain that our podcast is too long, this episode's for you.
You're welcome.
This is tailored just for you guys. It's nice, short, sharp, and punchy. Still covered plenty of news. But see, when John's not hosting, there's no rambling, there's no tangents. Short, sharp, to the point. We plow through.
And the questions weren't super plentiful, so that helped.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it helped that we didn't have like a ton of...
The questions are normally over an hour.
By the way, that game is called Clone Drone in the Danger Zone.
Nope.
Look that up.
Drone in the Danger Zone.
I was thinking of the Rift Breaker. That was the one that I really liked. The Rift Breaker. And that's coming to Game Pass.
There was actually a few games in that there was a time-based game.
Paint the Town Red, which by the time this goes up, we'll just have put a review out for it. That was in the demo thing too.
You got. I made the YouTube thumbnail for that one. Okay, so I think that's just about it. So before we go, Mike, do you want to take us through what you are up to at the moment?
I'm getting back into the swing of things. I haven't been feeling that well. I have another appointment Tuesday to hopefully get me sorted out. But after that, I got a couple things that I'm thinking about cooking up. I have a review that I'm working on for Resident Evil 8, and I'm thinking about doing a video based on interest on like xCloud versus Series X is one of the ideas I have cooking around in my head. Just because they're upgraded the Series X hardware, so I'm curious to see how that. But I have to see how well I can capture the footage for that. And then there's another video from MechWarrior 5 that I'm pretty much done on. I just need to wrap it up and kick it out. But yeah, once I'm able to stare at a computer screen more than an hour without wincing in pain, I'll be back into the swing of things.
Okay. And Jesse, what are you up to?
I have a birthday stream coming up on Monday. So it's my birthday on Monday. I'll be 39.
Oh,
try and catch up
Happy birthday.
Nick. So and thank you to change things up.
Me, mate. I'm always 2 steps
You're 39.
ahead.
What if I stick you into stasis and then you don't age for a while?
Yeah, maybe.
Did you say you're 39?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That my birthday's today and I'm 39. So that's
really? Your birthday's today?
Apart.
Why are we only hearing about that now?
I don't generally talk about it. The only reason I brought it up is just because it was ironic that he's 39. Oh, thanks. Yeah. It's another day for me.
I know you hit a point where you no longer want people to know.
I didn't even realize what today was until I woke up today and I saw text messages. I had no idea today was my birthday. Time has no meaning in my life right now just because of I've been doing a lot of sleeping lately though, so I think that messed everything up.
Yeah.
That's good though. And my fun birthday idea for changing things up on the stream on Coffee with Cabeza is I'm going to play Halo, and then I'm going to follow that up with Hades. So really different than normal. Other than that,
mix things up a bit.
Previews. I've got a preview coming up. I don't think I can say the game, but that's coming up in like 10 days. We're getting more and more preview stuff, which is cool. If any devs or publishers or PR people watch this, you can hit us up at contact@xboxera.com and let us know if you're interested in us covering your stuff. We just got on the list for 22 or 23 games this week for like the next year. So things are popping off. We have more and more reviews. We are on the list for pretty much every major thing coming this year, I think. Big, small, we will have a ton of review content. We have a pretty big team doing it, so it's a lot of fun.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, as always, everyone, if you like what we do, please, like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, support us on Patreon if you can. Like I said, that helps us do all the things we do. We put it all straight back into XboxEra, where we do cool giveaways. We give away games, Game Pass subscriptions, controllers, all of that. We even have a merch store. Some of that, Pre-Drag does a great job with that merch, like those t-shirts and
the man's amazing.
Yeah, he does a really, really good job. I mean, I'd like to think I could do better when I try, but look, I'll let Pre-Drag I'll let Pre-Drag have the credit where it's due. But yeah, so that's all from us this week. Please check us out on xboxera.com. You'll find all our stuff there. Say, everyone.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Thanks, everyone. Love you guys. Bye.
I don't love you. I like you. You're friends.